to read you the statement that we got from US Central Command, which controls all of the US response in that region. They said at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, on February the 2nd, US Central Command forces conducted airstrikes in Iraq and Syria against Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force and affiliated militia groups. US military forces struck more than 85 targets, with numerous aircraft, to include long-range bombers, flown from the United States. The airstrikes employed more than 125 precision munitions. The facilities that were struck included command and control operation centers, intelligence centers, rockets and missiles, and unmanned aerial vehicle storages and logistics and munition supply chain facilities of militia groups and their IRGC sponsors who facilitated attacks against the US and coalition forces. Now, we're also learning that B-1 Lancer bombers were part of those aircraft that were used to strike these facilities. And that is important because they are much more robust and larger aircraft than the F-15s that were used in previous strikes. They're capable of carrying much more ammunition and up to over 20 cruise missiles as well. So that really kind of speaks to the intent that the United States has here with this response. Some of the places that have been struck as well, we are learning, are along the Euphrates River, which is one of the main supply lines between Iraq and Syria. And at least 3 of those bases that were struck had been struck in a previous US strike back in November. So that suggests potentially there could have been some resupplying of those bases within those couple of months. There is, of course, potential for escalation here. The United States has said this is going to be a multi-tiered approach. It's going to take place over the course of numerous days. So we could potentially see more Iranian facilities targeted, including the Iranian trainers that are normally sent from Iran to guide and train these militant groups in Iraq and Syria. We know that the Iranians have started to pull some of them out of the area after the the drone strike on that base in Jordan on Sunday. Now, CNN has had it confirmed to it by a senior administration official that we are not expecting any strikes to take place within Iran itself. That has been something that Republican lawmakers have been pushing for, but that the Biden administration has been adamant it would potentially escalate the conflict with Iran, and that is something it has been trying desperately to avoid. So CNN reporting that there will not be any strikes within Iran, and they were also told that these strikes that took place on Friday evening have been in the pipework for quite a few days, and it was always going to be Friday that this took place, and the timing of that dignified transfers of those 3 soldiers who were killed on Sunday is just purely coincidental. But here the United States taking direct aim at that umbrella group, the Islamic resistance in Iraq and its other combined forces that are underneath it, trying to destroy their supply lines, at least to try to thwart some of these attacks that have taken place on US assets in the region over the last couple of weeks.
Fraser, thank you very much.